Okay, welcome back to See from Scratch. It's September the 1st and I'm ready to dive into another day of practicing after that lesson with Clive. And there's a lot of key valuable pointers that he gave us, and it's completely different to just keeping the head still. It's takeaway through to the compression rate, looking at the spin rate, and thankfully I've got a little Garmin R10 and that's going to tell me all the spin rates. It's not going to be as accurate as the device that Clive was using with us. I think it was a what's it called now? It's not a TrackMan, it's the other one. But anyway, we're going to focus on that today and fine-tuning the swing. But every session's going to count, so obviously as we try to get down to scratch, take you guys along and see what we can do. But anyway, let's head to the range.
Today, I'm really trying to lock in on two key things: compression and attack angle. It's easy to get caught up in overcomplicating the swing, but right now, my goal is to just focus on those fundamentals, making sure that I'm really getting that solid, compressed strike through the ball. There's just something about that feeling when you pure a shot. It's addicting. And I kind of wish that I brought my Garmin R10 with me to track my spin rates and all of the data. But honestly, sometimes it's good to just tune out of all of that and focus on the feel. Data's helpful, but today it's more about drilling what Clive and I worked in on our last session. He had me doing this great drill, placed in an alignment stick behind me, and if you haven't seen all of that, you can watch it on the previous video. It's simple, but it's really effective. It helps me to make sure that my takeaway stays along the right path. And for as long as possible, I'm keeping club face square to the ball. You know, it really felt awkward the first few times I was doing it in that lesson, and it still feels really awkward now. But having that alignment stick there, it really helps me to just tune in and do exactly what I need to. And I'm starting to feel like I'm getting the hang of it. It's funny though, I've probably hit about 200 balls today. Been out here for 2 hours, and the thing is, most of them aren't perfect, not at all, but that's golf. It's really just a game of small adjustments, and I'm not expecting every single shot to be great, but if I can just get that one thing right over and over and over, eventually it's going to all come together. You really learn a lot out here, and there's no quick fix in golf, no magic drill that's going to change everything overnight. It's a grind, and very well is this story to scratch. But the beauty of all of those in those moments is when it clicks, and when you work on and you've been putting in everything, it suddenly just makes sense. That's why I keep coming back. Golf can be pretty humbling, and that's part of why I love it. There are always layers to peel back, and there's always something to improve, but you have to stay patient with the process. I can already feel the difference in my swing from when I started this session. The more I drill it, the more natural it becomes. It's like building muscle memory, and when that carries over to the course, that's when it's going to really pay off. 200 swings plus today, and it's not about chasing perfection, it's about being consistent with the things that matter. So I'm trusting this process, one range session at a time, and I can't wait to see how this is going to feel in my next round.
Okay, so it's Sunday, it's just gone 1 o'clock, and the session for today was focusing on the takeaways of the club. Just like in the lesson with Clive, we were talking about taking it straight away possible and kind of having this almost twist rotation rather than overswinging to the right, meaning that the ball is coming round too far left. And it's a bit of a mental challenge because a lot of the shots I want to go back to what I've been doing, and obviously I've been doing that for years upon years of hitting the ball, and the new feeling is obviously causing a lot of tightness here, which is what we should be feeling, which is what Clive has said. So I've started off with a bunch of half swings as we did in the lesson, and making sure that's flying straight and keeping the spin rate low, meaning the ball flight isn't going really high. Obviously quite a few of them were still going high, but that's because we're just falling back into old habits. But when I'm really focusing on making sure we're swinging as we should be, I think that's when we're getting the right spin rate, and that's when things are going the way we want them to. I think we've made some good progress today, and I think things are going in the right direction. It's going to be difficult to take on the course, and I think there's a lot of chunks that are going to happen, but it's a progress, and we're not going to get to scratch without any progress of that sort. Okay, so we are over at Shendish Manor. Try get a easy 9 in. Swing's feeling okay, but let's see what we can do. I've only got 10 minutes until we tee off, so let's crack on. So welcome to a round at Shendish Manor, one of Hertfordshire's hidden gems. We kicked off on hole 1, par 3, and I took out the pitching wedge. And I got a little bit too excited, sending it over the green. Now, trying to recover over the slope with my 60-degree wedge. I end up sending it a little bit too far, yet again, so here's me doing the walk of shame. But with a putter in hand, I'm going to try my best to get it close and finally secure a very safe bogey. You know, it's not going to be the start that I'd hoped for, but hey, it's the first hole and often it's pretty much your warm-up for the round. And the first hole is often where the nerves show up. Did you know the longest recorded par 3 in golf is 277 yards? Luckily this one wasn't nearly as tough. On to hole 2, a par 4 this time, and as you can hear, yeah, it kind of went left. But I opted for a 4-iron, trying to keep it under control and place it near the green, and although it did shout 4, it's just to the left and it's on the tee box. So grinding my wedge again, I chipped it onto the green, and looking up, I've got a steady 2-putt here to save par, so I send it really close and it has a proper look at the hole, just lipping out and just leaving me a little tap in for par. Fun fact, did you know that the average par 4 on the PGA Tour is just under 450 yards? So on courses like this, I think we're doing okay. Hole 3, just another par 4, and I stick to the 4-iron. Consistency, right? And land just off the green. On the left, okay. It's leaving me about 35 yards to the pin. So what else would I grab other than my trusty 60-degree wedge? Again, and sending it up and down to try and land it close. Starting to think maybe I need to work on my chipping a little bit here, because sometimes they're just going way too high. But with the calm 2 putts next, I managed to somehow, and don't ask me how, score another par. I really am trying to get in a rhythm here. Now, hole 4 is where things start to get a little bit tricky. See, this par 3 is a bit of a test. It's a hole that usually plays closer to around 100 yards if there wasn't any slope involved, but today it was playing about 70. And you guessed it, yeah, I took my 60-degree and landed here right in this horrible little bunker. Then again, that pin position wasn't exactly great either. So again, 60-degree, trying to get it really close, and I'm really not trying to overhit it here. Just a little putt and I lip out, and honestly this is going to be a story for the rest of the day. So another little tap, and unfortunately walking away with a double bogey on that one. So here we are, we're now on hole 5, the first par 5 of the 9, and this is where we can finally let loose with the big stick in the driver. But if there's anything else that we knew from all of these lessons and time on the range, where else would it go but left, obviously. So stuck in all of these flowers, somehow finding the ball is actually sitting up alright. So I send it straight up with a 5-iron, landing just short of the green and rolling over. It's leaving me with a little chip, and 1 putt later and I score my first birdie. That brings me back to 2 over after 5. And here's a fun stat. Birdies are named after the term bird, which was slang for something great or excellent back in the 19th century. Guess I can call this one excellent. On to hole 6, we've got a wide open fairway. A tempting opportunity to go for it with a driver, but after the last hole I knew it was probably going to go left and out of bounds. So I decided to stay a little bit conservative, play the 4-iron, landing 80 yards short of the green, and if I say so myself, in a really good position. So this time actually taking my 56-degree wedge, I put it as close as I can to the pin, and have a look at this. Just lands nice and soft, really close. Looking at the read of the green now, I'm starting to see that it slopes a little bit left to right, and it's really not much, but with pace and everything I don't want to overhit it or underhit it and just leave my chance for par out of the window. So a light tap going left, and it wasn't hard enough, although a good lag putt,
it only leaves me a chance for a par. You know, this type of shot control is what separates amateurs from the pros, and I'm by far no pro. I hit it about 60% of the fairways, while amateurs just 49%. So you know what, I'll take it on that hole. Here on hole 7, we face another dreaded par 3. Using my pitching wedge, I'm falling just short, and as you can see, my chipping was not behaving on this one. Just straight under it, it went up, didn't go the distance, and left as well, leaving me with not one putt, not 2 putts, but another little tap in. So once again, I'm walking away with another double bogey, bringing me to 4 over 3 to 7. Hole number 8, and it was time for the driver again. This time, trusting it, I hug the left side of the fairway and landing it close but with some trees to now contend with. I'm going to opt for a low bump and run shot to keep it under the branches, but it rolls just short of the green. And from playing this course before, I know how tricky this one is, and I decided to take a putter at it because honestly the ball's going to pick up so much speed, and it just carried, so it leaves me just short of the pin here. Take another putt at it, and like I said earlier, it's the story of the day. Now on hole 9, and this is where things start to get really interesting. I take out the driver, and finally a super straight shot.
No.
But have a listen to this.
Yeah, heard it.
Come out, middle of the fairway.
You serious?
Hits a tree straight away, and luck was on my side because it landed perfectly in the middle of the fairway. From here, I grab my 8-iron, change my stance up to try hit a draw. I actually close my face here and try swing across the ball to get as much spin as I can to try draw it around another tree. I'm leaving myself just shy of the green, and a quick chip, and 2 putts later, not that you can see it thanks to my playing partners, one standing in the way and another buggy incoming to absolutely block off the final shot of the round. But out of the front 9 with a total of 6 over, and it wasn't the best round here at Shendish Manor playing 9, but I'm glad I managed to get out after work, and although I didn't put up my best score, it's still a score towards scratch. And currently playing under bogey golf, that's golf that I will take.